Hollywood pimp Oprah Winfrey paid $75 million to purchase sex tapes of Sean Diddy Combs raping an underage Justin Bieber and Aaron Carter, among other child stars, and is now selling the footage to Hollywood pedophiles, an industry insider reveals. Oprah has been hiding in plain sight for decades, using the media to shield her from the truth. But this time, there's no covering it up. The tide has turned. The truth is finally coming to light. And it's about to shake the entire system to its core. Terrified, traumatized, destroyed. Those were some of the words Justin Bieber used to describe his experience of growing up in the entertainment industry, surrounded by sharks, predators, and open Luciferians. Friends of Justin Bieber warn that he's deeply distressed, as the most traumatic experience of his life is now being exploited for profit, without his consent and at his expense. It's a total nightmare, said the insider. He feels like he was victimized years ago and now is being victimized yet again. If this footage gets out, it will follow him for life. It will be on the internet forever. To make matters worse for Bieber, he's been trying for years to speak out about the abuse he endured at the hands of powerful industry pedophiles. But the mainstream media has consistently shut him down. Diddy was grooming Bieber in front of the world, even warning Bieber on Jimmy Kimmel's show not to talk about the things he did with Big Brother Puff. The warning signs were flashing red, and nobody stepped in to save Justin.
Got me a Lamborghini.
That's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last time.
He had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Fast forward a few years, and instead of being heard, his voice was silenced by the media industry, leaving him to cope with the trauma of his past. He now carries the heavy burden of knowing that despite his efforts, he is powerless to stop these predators from targeting the next generation of child stars.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. People take for granted encounters, and I don't wish that upon anybody.
After the disturbing new allegations about Diddy emerged in the aftermath of Cassie's lawsuit, reports indicate that Justin's mom, Patty, is allegedly starting to question Diddy's relationship with Justin. Sources close to Patty suggest that she is unsure how to approach this sensitive subject with Justin. Reportedly, Patty feels a considerable amount of guilt for letting him go with Usher and Diddy in the early stages of his career.
Bieber has been warning us for years that Pizzagate is real, and powerful figures in the music industry are raping child stars and murdering babies and children. Unfortunately, the mainstream media took away Bieber's voice, silencing him to protect the perpetrators, and so very few people get to hear his warnings. Back in 2016, Bieber came forward naming Diddy as a powerful industry pedophile. But instead of investigating these serious claims, the mainstream media went into full damage control, protecting Diddy and painting Bieber as a troubled, mentally unstable young man. In a heartfelt confession to his church congregation in Beverly Hills, Bieber revealed the disturbing truth that the music industry is controlled by evil pedophiles, and child stars are forced into degrading and dehumanizing sexual encounters with elite figures, including powerful politicians. Bieber has been trying to warn us ever since about the real nature of the entertainment industry. Fast forward to 2020, and Bieber released his Yummy music video, where he's dining with a group of elites. Bieber posted photos of babies and pizza on his Instagram back then to promote his single Yummy. Make no mistake, this is Pizzagate, and Justin is blowing the whistle. Now compound all of this with the disturbing truth coming out against Diddy, and the fact that he was pals with Epstein's alleged victim turned child sex trafficker Rachel Handler. Don't forget, Kanye West told us years ago that Diddy was a Fed.
And the Kardashians kidnapped my daughter in public, and I didn't have the address to my child. None of these niggas that want to say something
Travis
now.
Gave you the address, though, right?
Travis gave me the address. Right. But as far as Meek Mills, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas. All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. Hold on. Okay. All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't give a fuck who, because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fucking fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta come at me, because part of the deal for you to be able to do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're gonna go pull my co-car. So y'all niggas shut the fuck up about me.
Aaron Carter was another victim of Diddy and pedophile industry executives. and he reached out to Kanye following his rant about Diddy being a Fed. This tweet dropped right as Kanye was calling Diddy out, and Aaron Carter ended up dead 2 days later. The elite are hiding their depravity in plain sight.
I may be a little kid, but I have been around. Can hear the girls all scream soon as our wheels touch down. Junkets in Tokyo, fashion shoots in Milan, then a private jet to Madison Square Garden. 36-week-long tours, 10 singles on the charts. So hear my message, girl, cause it comes from the heart. Help me, my parents sold me to a big producer in the record industry. He makes me do things that I don't wanna do. Please call child services or maybe SVU.
There is no such thing as coincidences when it comes to protecting the elite paedophile ring. Shortly before his death, Aaron Carter revealed the feds attempted to get him to set up Michael Jackson, while covering up the crimes of their partner in crime, Sean Diddy Combs.
I get back to the Sheraton Hotel at Universal over here. There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me in the hotel room. And my mom's there and she's like, tell them what happened. And I'm like, what do you mean tell them what happened? And I sit down with them and they all ask these super sexually exploiting, questions, back-sided questions. And I knew that at my age already. And I looked at all 4 of them and I said, are y'all crazy? I said, what you think I'm gonna do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money? That's what I told him. I was like, you're crazy. And I looked over at my mom and I was like, are you serious, Mom? I was like, what is going on here? Why are you letting this happen? And she goes, well, I think something happened, I think something. I'm like, really? That man did nothing but be hospitable, kind, loving, giving, everything you could think of.
It sure isn't looking good for the elite paedophiles like Diddy running the entertainment industry. According to an industry whistleblower, Oprah is actually the world's most prolific pimp, and the walls are closing in on her too. Oprah is a Luciferian who's been hiding in plain sight while making a fortune servicing the paedophilic needs of Hollywood and the entertainment industry elite. She's far from the only one. Luciferianism is the religion a young up-and-coming star must adopt if they wish to succeed in Hollywood or the music industry.
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth. Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth. Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm from the capital, Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
According to the mainstream media, Oprah's laundry list of paedophile connections is just an unfortunate coincidence. It's like the extensive list of Clinton associates who wound up dead in bizarre circumstances, often committing suicide by putting 2 bullet holes in the back of their own head, one coincidence after another, for decades and decades. As Cat Williams warns, 2024 is the year when the darkness is finally being exposed, and the industry elite are being served up with justice. A whistleblower from Oprah's inner circle has come forward, revealing the truth about her crimes and issuing a warning. The authorities are closing in on her as we speak.
As someone who has worked closely with Oprah for years, I can no longer hold my peace. The truth is far darker than anyone realizes, and it needs to come out before she can destroy the lives of more young and innocent kids. Behind her carefully constructed image, she's been running an evil empire. For years, she's been pimping out young, ambitious young stars to the most repulsive industry executives, preying on their desire for success by offering them up to these reptiles in charge. These vulnerable young people, many of them just starting out, are promised fame and fortune, but in reality, they are lost and naive young kids who are being exploited, manipulated, and abused behind closed doors. Recently, she took things to an even more disturbing level. She purchased the infamous sex tape featuring Diddy and some of his victims, including a young Justin Bieber, who I can confirm was not a willing participant. Bieber didn't consent to what happened on that tape, but Oprah didn't care. She saw it as an opportunity to make millions and millions of dollars, and she did. Not only is she profiting from their humiliation, but she's also been using the tape as leverage in business deals, holding it over the heads of the celebrities involved, trapping them in a web of influence. This isn't just a scandal, it's exploitation of the worst kind. She's trafficked in young people's dreams, profited from their abuse, and now she's capitalizing on one of the most humiliating violations imaginable. The authorities are closing in on her, and from what I know, her arrest is just a matter of time. This is no longer just about Hollywood gossip. It's about justice for those whose lives she's ruined for the sake of her own power and profit.
When Oprah goes down, she won't be going alone. Many of her closest associates are already serving time behind bars, and she'll soon have plenty of company in prison. After Oprah's close friend Jerry Harris was sentenced to 12 years in prison on child sex crimes in July, the media fact-checked anybody who dared to point out that he was Oprah's protege. This was information they did not want to get out. But in reality, Harris was the star of Oprah's Netflix show Cheer, and she personally groomed him for the role. Then, like many of her other friends, Harris was exposed as a child rapist after he was caught using his position to lure underage children. But Jerry Harris is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Oprah and her paedophile connections. You might have heard of Joao Dadus or John of God, who will spend the rest of his life behind bars after being found guilty of a sickening array of paedophilia, trafficking, and rape charges. Oprah featured Joao Dadus on her talk show in 2012 after travelling all the way to Brazil to interview him. According to Oprah, the man, who would later be found guilty of the most hideous crimes against children, was an inspiring figure. That's right, even Oprah's spiritual advisor has been sentenced to prison on sickening sex charges. For some reason, Oprah didn't tell her audience that John of God was literally farming babies through the sex slavery of very young girls and selling infants around the world to the highest bidder. This is not a conspiracy theory, this is a conspiracy fact. Young girls were held captive in remote farms where Oprah's inspirational friend would impregnate them and murder them after 10 years after giving birth. These babies were then sold to elite VIPs around the world. This was a huge global child trafficking operation involving elite VIPs that has been systematically swept under the carpet by the mainstream media. Why would they circle the wagons around such an evil figure? Because the mainstream media is bought and paid for by the global elite, who are essentially buying them off to keep quiet about the skeletons in their closets. John of God is closely tied to Bill Clinton, Naomi Campbell, and Marina Abramovich, who filmed a documentary at his compound in Brazil in 2016. With friends like that, the mainstream media were always going to give him a free pass. Oprah sure does keep good company. She also runs her own school for young girls in Africa, a $40 million school for vulnerable girls, where in 2007 several girls were sexually abused, and parents were only allowed to see their children once a month. Truth tellers who've been granted a glimpse behind the curtain have been saying for years that Oprah has a sick agenda. Rose McGowan came the closest to hinting at the full truth when she said that Oprah is about supporting a sick power structure, and tossed in the hashtag lizard for good measure. British singer Seal, who has known Oprah for decades, also blasted America for falling for the talk show host's hypocritical persona, describing Oprah as having been part of the problem for decades. Seal posted two pictures, one of Oprah sucking Harvey Weinstein's ear, and the other showing Oprah offering Weinstein some fresh meat in the form of a very young Rita Ora. Here at The People's Voice, we've been educating the masses about the real nature of the elites for years. We were the first news outlet to break the explosive news that John Podesta's emails contained paedophile code words, and that Marina Abramovich was involved in spirit cooking parties with senior Hillary Clinton campaign staff. Mainstream media have been covering up these crimes for decades. Fact-checkers were deployed to destroy our business and prevent us from sharing our journalism on social media. But we persisted, because we believe this work is vital, and now thanks to people like yourself, more people than ever before are hearing the truth about Pizzagate and the global elite. While the stream of new revelations about the music industry elite have shocked the mainstream, those in the know are celebrating, because Hollywood is about to be exposed. Justin Bieber's father-in-law Stephen Baldwin posted on Instagram recently asking for press for Justin and his wife Hailey. After the Diddy expose, he posted that Hollywood, and I quote, fucked around for too long as he danced around with the Punisher bag. I think Hollywood's about to find out. Here at The People's Voice, we are determined to continue exposing the elites, but we need your help.